Hey beauty babes, welcome to my channel. I'm Maria, aka Agape Love Girl. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today I'm back with another makeup I want, but probably won't buy, and why. And this video should hopefully be shorter. I should never ever say that in the beginning of my videos because when I do, they never end up being short. But I will say I have a lot less products to talk about for this video because normally I do not film these more than once a month. I've kind of been on this track of doing it once a month because there's usually not a lot each week that I feel like that I want to talk about, like things that I actually want, and I feel like, I don't know, it would just be a little too boring, a little too repetitive, so I like to do them monthly. However, there's been quite a few new releases since I just filmed my last video that I wanted to talk about, and I wanted to kind of talk about them now because I feel like by next month, by the time I'd be able to get around to filming this video, they will be so old. And I know I love you guys because so many of you guys appreciate and are still cool with me talking about old news products. Insert massive eye roll right here because it becomes old news after week. But I still just was like, I really want to talk about these products. I have some things to say. So yeah, we're gonna do that. So I have two of these videos in 1 month, although it is what is today? It's the 26th, so probably maybe by the time I actually upload this video it might be October already, but then I might have another video then. I don't know. Anyways, enough of my rambling. If you are new here, hi, my name is Maria. I like glitter and I talk a lot. Clearly, you guys may have noticed. But that also means that you are new to this series, and this series is kind of my take of a little combination of Samantha March's Will I Buy It videos and anti-haul videos. Now I'm not doing a Will I Buy It because most likely so many of these products I will not buy, but not because I don't want them, but there's reasons. We'll get into it. I also did not necessarily want to do an anti-haul because it's not like I'm trying to like be negative and I don't want these products. These are products that I would want to have, I would want to own. They're interesting to me, but for whatever reason, I probably just won't buy, and I think that's okay. Like, I think we don't need everything, but we can still appreciate things and we can still talk about things, and I want to talk about stuff, so I figured this kind of video would be the perfect way to do that. So if that sounds interesting to you, we're gonna go ahead and get right into it. Alright, I've scoochied my cell phone over here so I can put some photos here for you guys to kind of see what I'm talking about. By the way, I should mention, just in case you're curious, if you like this makeup look, I did film this, and that video I'm hoping should be live before this one, so you guys can check it out, and I will link it, but I did use the Juvia's Place Nomad palette for this look. I did 2 looks with this palette for that video, so if you want to see 2 kind of like tutorials and hear my thoughts on the palette, you can check that out. I will link it in the eye. But anyways, let's go ahead and get on to the products. So the first thing I have is a ColourPop item, which, surprise, surprise, they release something new every week. So here I am talking about them again. And even though I talk about how much like I don't love the fact that they release so many products, it's still interesting to talk about because sometimes some things catch my attention, other times things don't catch my attention. Like this they released September 10th, at least this came out, this picture that I saw, but they've recently just this last week released the Lilac palette, and I'm not really interested in that, so I'm not going to talk about that. But this that I want to talk about is their Burgundy Love collection, and I'm not going to buy this because I don't need it, and I most certainly have shades in my collection like this because I am a burgundy lover, but I want to talk about it because it tempts me because I am a burgundy lover. I feel like most of us are, especially in the fall, but like truly that is one of my very, very, very favorite colors. That and green. Those are my 2 favorite colors, but burgundy, you guys hear me say it all the time. I say it in a lot of my fashion videos because a lot of the clothes I buy are burgundy. My tattoo is burgundy. Like, I love burgundy. And so this collection just looks so beautiful. It speaks to my soul. So anyways, there is the Whatever eyeshadow palette. I like the packaging too. I think it's really cute. I like how it has the like kind of cutout letters, like magazine cutout letters. I like that it has the cheetah print box. I think that's really cute. But I think the actual palette, I feel like, wait, which one's the actual palette? Okay, yeah. So the box is the cheetah print, and then the actual palette I think is really, really cute. So the design says whatever, and it's like got roses on it, and it looks like it's like cut out from a magazine. It's just really, really cute. So I like the aesthetic and design of this palette. Very, very pretty. love the color so much. I don't mind the pressed glitters in those. I know a lot of people don't really care for the pressed glitters and stuff in palette, but I love glitter, as I mentioned in the beginning of this video, so that doesn't bother me. The swatches look super, super beautiful, especially there's this last one in the picture. I'll probably like point to it or something that I have here, that there's this like deep, very deep, vampy like burgundy color that's like, I love you. I'm sick, okay? Then there's some Super Shock shadows, which I think are these blushes. Yeah, blushes. Not really into the Super Shock blushes. I like the Super Shock shadows formula. I think they're pretty, but the blushes, not so much. There's glosses. Not super into the glosses. It looks like they're weird brush tip, which I'm not... I love glosses, but these ones just don't really appeal to me. But what's also kind of interesting, and I'm tempted to maybe buy these, there's also a mascara. Oh, is this like a bundle? Oh, you can buy this as a bundle. That's kind of, for $18. This may be something I eventually purchase in the future if this is not limited edition. Like, I don't ever know, like, are these things that ColourPop is releasing, like, are they all limited edition? Like, is this only for a certain time? I just can't stand limited edition products. It sucks that, like, I don't want to buy it right now, don't need to buy it right now, but if I wanted to buy in, like, you know, in the future, and not even that long in the future, but it might not be there anymore, I don't know. So that's kind of frustrating. But there is a Stranger Than Diction. What does that mean? Stranger Than Diction. It's like Stranger Than Fiction? I don't get it. Am I dumb? What does that mean? Okay, someone tell me. I have no idea. So Stranger Than Diction BFF bundle, and this has the mascara, a cream gel color, and then a cream gel liner, and all of these are in like a very gorgeous burgundy shade, so very, very tempted by those more than anything because I don't have a burgundy mascara. And side note, I remember when I was like in high school, I had purchased like a random mascara from this like store. I just needed more mascara and I really wasn't paying attention. And I thought I'd grab just like a black mascara and it turned out to be a burgundy mascara. It was so, so beautiful because I have hazel eyes that lean a little bit green, especially if I'm wearing like burgundy colors, they look more green. And anyways, that burgundy mascara was very, very flattering for my eyes. So I'm really tempted by that, and just the liner and stuff, it just very tempting. So ColourPop, as much as I complain about their constant releases, they've gotten me, they do pull me in every now and then. So I'd love to know, did you guys grab this? I mean, how many of you guys who watch me are like ColourPop, like major ColourPop people? Like, do you purchase a lot of the stuff? Like, what do you guys think of these products? I'd love to know. Share your opinion. Anyways, I do think it will be a pass, something I don't purchase, but definitely caught my attention because I am definitely a burgundy lover. Okay, so next up is the main thing that made me want to do this video right away, and this is the Norvina Volume 2 palette. Okay, so I thought this was funny because literally, I think like within a day or so after I filmed my last video like this, because I had talked about the Norvina Volume 1 palette in that video, and then I was getting comments saying that like, oh my gosh, did you see that already that Volume 2 released? And I had seen, but it was just pretty much after I'd filmed this video is when that second palette released, and it's like, what is happening? They literally just released Volume 1. So it was like, okay, I saved that and was gonna be like, okay, I'm gonna have to include this in my next video because this palette really, really caught me. While I did think the first Norvina palette, the Volume 1, was really pretty, I wasn't sure if it would be something I would actually want to buy because there was a lot more cooler tones, there was a lot more of the purples, and I don't know, it looked pretty, it caught my attention, but it wasn't something I super saw myself wanting to purchase. Anyways, but when I saw Volume 2, I was like, okay, this totally caught my attention even more because it has so many greens in there. There's a couple pops of pink and a couple bright colors, there's some yellows. But what made me feel like I don't think I would actually want to purchase this is because there was a lot of blues in this palette. And then the palette itself is blue, which, you know, kind of I feel like makes it like shows how it's like a blue leaning palette. And I think this is probably like a really cool palette for, I'm sure, a lot of people who like blues and greens. But I if there's a palette with too many blues in it, I know I probably won't buy it because I feel like those will go to waste. I don't wear blue that often. I do think it's pretty. I try to incorporate blue into a couple of my looks here and there and try to step out of my comfort zone, but honestly, I don't think blue's a flattering color on me really, and I just don't like it that much. So if ever there's a palette that has too many blues in it, I already know, like I won't probably get it because it just seems like a waste. But the greens in this really caught my attention. So I put it to my saved list of something that I kind of want and just had caught my attention and wanted to talk about. Well, not long after that then did volume 3 already release. So I was like, what is happening here? What are you doing? Like, I feel like, and my instant thought was, and I'm going to say it and you guys are going to be like, oh yeah, we already know. Like, I'm not the first one to think this and I'm not the first one now to say this, but before even having heard anybody else say this, my thought was like, is ABH like the new ColourPop or what? Are they the high-end version of ColourPop? Like, what are they doing? Why are they doing this? I don't get it. But anyways, now I know a few other people have since come out and said that, so I'm not saying something super original here, so I apologize, but I honestly had that thought come into my mind when I saw that palette release, and I was like, why are you just released this palette? Like, what? You know, it was already kind of quite shocking when they released the Jackie Aina palette, and then immediately after released Norvina Volume 1, and not long after they released that, there's Volume 2, and pretty much right away, I feel like it was like days later, they released Volume 3. But let me see where in the first day I saved this from. So Trend Mood had posted this one on September 17th. That's when I saw it. And then Trend Mood posted the Norvina Volume 3 3 days ago. So let me do some math real quick. Okay, I really had to check because I thought there's no way it was really that fast, but it literally was that fast. So literally 7 days. 7 days apart. Why? This blows my mind. Well, I don't understand what they're doing and why they're doing this. But I did want to say though that even though Volume 2 caught my attention because those beautiful greens, and like I said, the blues kind of swayed me like, no, you probably don't really need to get that. When I saw Volume 3, this one gets me. So part of me is kind of glad, because if I were someone to kind of like spend off the cuff like that, if I were just the type to just grab when it releases, you know what I mean, I probably would have regretted getting the Volume 2, because Volume 3 is actually what I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh my gosh, I love this palette. This is beautiful. So it still has quite a bit of greens in there, which is what called my attention from Volume 2. But there's a lot less blues. It looks like there's one, maybe two blues. I'm not sure if that's a green shade or a blue shade, but there's like at least one blue in here, and then a lot of orangey colors, and then a lot more neutrals, which I know for some people might seem a little bit boring, but this palette calls to me. Those are my type of colors. I love those bright orangey shades, which those again are the ones that actually, and I mentioned this in my last video, that called my attention from Volume 1, because Volume 1 has a few pops of those bright corals and bright orangey shades, and those are kind of what caught my attention from that palette. Then the greens caught my attention from the Volume 2 palette. So this one has a little bit of both of those together in one, with a mix of other neutrals and stuff like that. And so that speaks to me personally more. I'm very intrigued and very tempted. But these are $60 palettes. So that's quite a bit of money. If I were to splurge on this, it would have to be something I saved up for and purchase in the future, down the line. Nothing I can purchase right now because I absolutely don't need it. And I mentioned in my last video that I'm actually in palette overload right now. Like, I've gotten so many new palettes lately that I feel like I can't even keep up. So for me to like purchase new palettes when I have new palettes that I haven't even gotten a chance to use yet, it seems very silly. So for right now, I won't be buying for those reasons. But Volume 3, like, very excited about that. I think it's beautiful and I would want it. My question though is, does anybody know if these are limited edition? I actually do not know that. If they're limited edition, that will be a for sure thing that I would not purchase. Well, obviously, because maybe by the time I could buy, they might not be there anymore. I'm not sure. But also, I'm just someone who does not purchase, I don't purchase limited edition products anymore. I think I have purchased in the past limited edition products, but I will not, I don't say never, because you should never say never, but I have this mindset of I really am not interested in purchasing anything that's limited edition. I had my reasons, and I actually had been considering making a separate video talking about my issues with limited edition products. If that's something that might be interesting to you guys, let me know and I will film it. It was something that kind of just came to my mind, and I thought this might be interesting to talk about. Just to talk about, just to have a discussion, you know. So if that's something you might want to see me make a video on, let me know. Leave a comment, let me know, and I will do that, because I don't know, I thought it could spark some interesting conversation. But anyways, so if anybody knows for sure if these are limited edition or not, let me know. I'm curious to find out. I guess I could find out down the line, but it'd be nice to know right now. I haven't seen anything that says that they're limited edition, and it kind of seems like something that would be part of their permanent line. It kind of makes sense to be part of their permanent line, but I just don't know, especially with such quick releases. It just seems super weird to me. I just have to share this real quick. It's super funny. Well, maybe it's just super funny to me. Anyways, I think it's funny. My son, my middle son, when he was younger, something he would say all the time was, "What doing?" And he'd say it like with this really funny sounding like voice, like, "What doing?" And that like sticks in my head. Like whenever I see brands, well, like with Norvina, or just brands doing something kind of weird, or like, "Why are you doing that?" My instant thought, I hear my son's voice going, "What doing?" And so like with this Norvina palette release thing, I'm just like, what doing? It's, anyways, a little random side tangent. Okay, let's go ahead and move on. So, okay, I discovered I think new brand. I mean, I don't know. It's probably, like, how well known are they? Oh my god, so it's not like, it's new to me, let's just say. This is a UK brand, and I'm not quite sure how I discovered this. Oh, I think I know. Someone in a makeup group shared a photo of this, I think, and I was like, that looks really, really pretty, and I've never heard of this brand before, but I just looked at their Instagram page, and they have 113,000 followers, so they seem to be well known. They are a UK brand, so maybe that's probably why they weren't kind of really on my radar, but the brand is called Lick and Lash Beauty. Very interesting name. I'd be curious to learn how that name came about. But anyways, I saw this palette, and it's called their Playful palette, I believe. Yeah, Playful palette. And it looks really, really beautiful. Okay, it's got like a bunch, there are 3 blues in it, so, but there's quite a bit of shade, so I feel like that kind of is okay in my opinion. It's not too bad considering there are a bunch of green shades in here, as well as a bunch of bright, pretty pink shades. There's some oranges, and then there's kind of some purples, and then like this gold shade, which I'm not sure if that's a pressed glitter or not. It almost looks like pressed glitter. I could be wrong. But they're very, very vibrant. I was gonna say bright and vibrant, so vibrant. Bright and vibrant shades in here. It almost looks like a neon palette, but not quite a neon palette. And so I saw that and I was like, this is beautiful. So how much does this cost? It's 30 pounds, I think that's what it is. I don't know quite what the conversion is for American dollars. But it looks really, really beautiful. So again, mainly, and I feel like this is where it kind of gets repetitive about my why, is that I'm kind of in palette overload. I don't need any new palettes. Most of my intrigue with new palettes, just wanted to try something new, or try different brands, or just try what's new because that's what's exciting and things like that. So that's my biggest reason for not purchasing. I guess now that discovering their UK brand, that kind of could be a big reason why I wouldn't purchase, because there is an extra shipping costs when you're purchasing from out of country and things like that. But oh my gosh, this is a really beautiful looking palette and a very interesting brand to me. So if you guys have ever heard of this brand or have tried this brand, I'd love to know your opinions on it, what's the quality and things like that. It looks like a really beautiful palette and kind of unique in the sense of a color story than others I've really seen. So I kind of like that. It just really caught my attention. Okay, the next one I have to talk about is again a palette, and this is from the brand, they actually just had a brand name, like renaming. The brand was Strobe Cosmetics, and they recently switched to Shroud Cosmetics now. And I saw this on Indie Makeup Spotlight. She had shared these swatches, and I was like, be still my heart. These are the most stunning that I've seen in a long time. So, so gorgeous. The colors are more on the grungy I cannot talk today. More on the grungy side, but but jewel toned grungy. Like, it just looks so beautiful. This emerald green metallic shade, the gold, and then the red. Oh my god. But then the mattes look so creamy and pigmented and beautiful. I'm just like, ooh la la, this looks beautiful. So apparently this is the Arcana, I don't know if I'm saying that, Arcana palette. And it is available for pre-order. The 23rd is when, on Monday is when it like became available for pre-order. And it's $47, which is pretty up there for, I feel like kind of for an indie brand. I don't know, I could be wrong. But I did previously, I saw and saved this before their launch, so I didn't know the price at the time, but I see now the price. I looked at some of their other palettes that they had as Strobe Cosmetics, and the price I think was like $35 for most of their palettes, so I was thinking that maybe that might be the price of this new palette, but it's definitely bumped up in price. But it does kind of seem like, in my opinion, that maybe the quality looks a lot better than some of the other palettes that they have. I could be totally wrong, but that would be my thoughts. Or maybe just with their rebranding and renaming, they wanted to kind of change their price range. I'm not quite sure, but it looks stunning. It totally caught my eye. Those jewel tones are just magical looking, and I want it. I want it so bad. The price kind of gets me a little bit of not wanting to buy, and like I said, again, just don't need new palettes right now, but oof, it is totally on my radar. And I feel like as long as this isn't a limited edition thing, I don't think this is, I'm not sure, but that might be something I do purchase in the future, because oh my gosh, it looks stunning. Okay, let's go ahead and move on. This I saved. I thought, for one, it did catch my attention. I thought it was beautiful. It wasn't necessarily something I thought like, ooh, I want to buy that, but it caught my attention for a couple reasons. So for one, I'm going to show you the picture here, and I read originally Lorac Pro. And then I was looking and I was like, wow, Lorac has really kind of like, they've kind of like stepped up. I feel like the look of this palette just looks a little bit different for Lorac, for what I know as Lorac. But it also, to me, like in my mind, I was like, it kind of looks like a mixture of it looks a little bit Morphe-ish as well. Anyway, so then I was like, why haven't I seen this? I'm pretty sure I'm following Lorac and I haven't seen them really launch anything like cool or exciting or new. I wonder why. So anyways, I clicked the @ and I went over and I'm like, I'm not following them. How weird. And then I realized, okay, big dummy, this brand is called like Lorac, but spelled differently. And I don't know if I'm saying, maybe I've been saying the other Lorac different. So it's Lorac is the one I know. And this one's Lorac, L-A-R-O-C. But even the logo looks similar, as that it's like a black and white L. Like, it looks just like Lorac. Oh my gosh, this is going to be confusing. It looks like the Lorac that we know in the US, but this is actually also a UK brand, and it's Lorac or Lorac. I don't really know. But anyway, it's very confusing a little bit. So I went over to their page and I was like, okay, that's a different brand. But anyways, it looked really beautiful. And then as I swiped over to look at some of the other stuff, because it was like on Trendmood in like a little carousel of photos, the first one on there is like a very warm tone and gold, and which is really pretty. But I was swiping through and I also saw another palette that was a lot of greens and then a blue and some yellows and stuff like that, and I was like, that's really pretty. So anyways, I just want to share that. I don't know if this is necessarily a brand I would like to purchase from. There's so many UK brands. Why do I have to be so interested in a brand that's out of country? But anyways, I just wanted to share that because, for one, I did think it was a really pretty palette. I like the green palette. It looks really pretty. Kind of almost reminds me slightly of ABH Subculture, just a touch, but it's really pretty, and I just want to share like the similarities with Lorac we know. So I thought that was really funny. I was having a hard time with it. But very interesting. Never had heard of that brand before. Okay, just a couple more items and then we'll be done with this video. So these next two items, I actually don't even know what they look like yet, but I'm intrigued, so I want to talk about them. I may have to talk about them in my next video next month, but we'll see. So the first one I have saved is the Killer Purr palette from Menagerie Cosmetics. So this one is inspired by a lion's. It's going to be a 12 pan palette, and it says full reveal swatches and pre-order launches this Friday, so that will be tomorrow. So I won't see what this looks like tomorrow, so maybe I will just by the time I get around to editing this, I'm sure the release, the reveal will be up, so maybe I'll edit a little voiceover with pictures and let you guys know what I think. But I'm very tempted by this palette, for one, even without knowing what's inside of it, because for one, I have two palettes from Menagerie Cosmetics and I love them. The quality is phenomenal. I've been very impressed with them, and so my eye is kind of really open to them whenever they release something now, because it's just, I'm a fan of their products, their palettes. Also, I love that it's the lion theme. I really like, even though I'm not big into like signs and astrological stuff and things like that, I don't really believe in horoscopes and things like that, I still think it's fun to have like things relate to your signs. Me, I'm an August baby, so I am a Leo, which is a lion, and so like when I see lion stuff, I kind of gravitate towards it a little bit just because of that, and so I'm just kind of intrigued by it because of the lion thing and because I like Menagerie Cosmetics. So I'm really excited to see what the reveal will be, what the shades will be in this palette, because like I said, they have great quality eyeshadows, so very interested. Okay, you guys, here is the reveal of this palette, and I think it's absolutely stunning. Now, looking at it and seeing it, I'm not super surprised by the color scheme, because a lot of Menagerie's palettes tend to the eyeshadow colors tend to mimic the outer packaging and things like that. They're very cohesive with their packaging and theming and things like that. So I'm not surprised by the colors in this, and I think it's absolutely stunning. I think for right now this palette will be a pass for me, just because I do have some newer palettes that I recently just got that seem kind of similar to this, like the Juvia's Place Nomad palette. This one has a little bit more variety, but it is very similar. So do I feel like right now I need another palette that has such a similar color story? I do not, so that'll be the main reason I pass. But if I did not have that palette, I would totally get this. I love these warmer tones. I love that there's kind of two pops of greens in there, and the golds. I love wearing gold, and I love warm tones, and I think this palette is absolutely stunning. And like I've already said several times already previously, the Menagerie Cosmetics formula is so beautiful, so creamy, so pigmented. I'm a huge fan, and I just love the artwork of this palette as well. So I'm very, very tempted by it. It might be a palette maybe I could see myself getting in the future, but as of right now, it will for sure be a pass. Okay, and the next one was a sneak peek from Juvia's Place, and this one I probably won't be able to talk about for quite a while, not till November, because this is just a sneak peek of a palette that's going to be launching in November. And I'm actually really glad, because when I saw this I was like, really, Juvia's Place, you're going to be launching another palette too? Because they literally just launched the Nomad palette, and I got that, and then the Warrior 3 palette, which I do have over here as well. I got sent those. And then just a little bit before that was their launch of the Queen palette, which I also have and did a video on and things like that. And I'm just like, whoa, okay, slow your roll. Love your products and love the price point, but let's slow this down a little bit. Anyways, but I saved it because I thought how interesting and intriguing. So I want to talk about this. The palette's going to be called Wahala, I think. Hopefully I'm not saying that wrong, and that the translation to that means drama. So it'll be some kind of dramatic kind of palette. And then it just says, in the works, Wahala to us means drama, trouble, something unsettling. This palette is set to launch in November. What colors are you dying to see from us? So I'm really just intrigued to see what kind of colors will be released in this palette. Juvia's Place does have a lot of palettes with a lot of colorful shadows and things like that, so it'll be interesting to see what they do for more of a dramatic or drama type of palette. Like, are these going to be grungier shades? Are they going to be darker shades? It's releasing in November, so I'm guessing it'll be more of a fall or wintry type palette. So I'm guessing grungier, darker shades, but I would love to see from them release some maybe duochrome type kind of shades, or just something fun and unique. So I'm really just curious to see what they are going to release. And we'll definitely be updating you guys my thoughts when the time comes that they reveal this. But am, I believe, officially on PR. I have been receiving quite a bit of products from them, and actually just received in the mail yesterday or the day before a package with the foundations. If you guys have been kind of following along with my videos on Juvia's Place, I had mentioned that I was told I was going to be receiving the foundations but kind of never received them, and instead received palettes and things like that. So I was really like baffled by that and really unsure about this PR thing. That's why I wasn't sure. Anyways, well, those foundations finally arrived, and then in that package with the foundations I also received some concealers, some setting powders, as well as another palette, the Coral palette, I think. So anyways, I have those to play with, and I'm hoping to do like a full face of Juvia's Place video soon, so stay tuned to that. But yeah, so anyways, I'm guessing, my point in saying that is that I'm guessing that I may receive this in PR, so that's kind of exciting to me, but I'm just really excited to see what they come out with. Okay, and then one last thing and then we are done. So the last thing I saved is from the brand I Heart Revolution, which is, I think, I'm not sure if they're the same brand or like a sister company kind of a thing, but to Makeup Revolution. Because I remember back in the day when I personally first discovered I Heart Revolution, it was before they were in Ulta, and when you can literally only purchase from their website in the UK. And on their website, it was a single website, but they had Makeup Revolution products as well as I Heart Revolution products all on the one site. So I think they're the same, but I don't really understand. If someone else wants to explain it to me, you can help me out. So I don't really understand what really the difference is with I Heart Revolution and then Makeup Revolution. You guys let me know. But anyways, this is from the I Heart Revolution line within their brand. And it says that they've launched some new complexion products. And I am someone who's always interested in complexion products, foundations and powders especially. So they always kind of catch my attention. But they've released some powders and primers. Now, I'm not big into primers, but these ones do sound interesting to me because all of these new powders and primers are all like fruit centered, and they actually are supposed to be scented, which I know it's a gimmick for a lot of people, but for me it's something that suckers me in. Something that's scented, it's it's grabbing, it's pulling me in. It's flame, moth, like that's it. So anyway, so they are actually releasing 4 powders, and it says it's, oh, and these are baking powders, just so we know. And I'm not someone who like bakes really with my makeup, but I still kind of somewhat do the baking thing. But anyways, I would be interested to try these powders. It says, it's time to bake yo face. I Heart Revolution's first ever baking powders are here, and they're tasty, and they're as tasty as they look. Not only will they prolong the wear of your makeup, banish shine, and brighten skin tones, they're also scented. Choose from coconut, peach, banana, or level up with chocolate banana. Your face will be smelling fresh AF. That seems, I don't know, it's cute but funny and super cheesy, but that's their little line. Yeah, so I'd be interested to try. I'm guessing the chocolate banana one will be a little bit of a deeper one for deeper skin tones. My guess is coconut will be more either translucent or for fair skin tones. And then you're going to have peach and then banana, which is like, you know, the banana shade kind of thing. That's my guess. So I'd probably be interested to try the banana one and then the peach one possibly. Okay, and then the primers are actually a little bit interesting to me too, mainly because I'm a sucker for strawberry stuff, and there's a strawberry one in here. But this primers says, get your game face on with these saucy skin perfecting primers. A first for I Heart Revolution, introducing 5 face primers that will ace your base. Packed with vitamin C and E, which actually sounds really great. Each primer is designed to target specific skin concerns. So Coconut Dream is hydrating, which I'm not super big into coconut scented products, but I do love a hydrating primer or hydrating product, so I'm kind of interested in that. Mint Chocolate Chip is supposed to be color correcting, so I'm guessing that'll be more of a green primer, especially with the mint. Banana Split is supposed to add a radiance. Peach Delight is a mattifying one. Not super into mattifying products. Radiance might be a good one, so Peach Split. And then Strawberry Whip interests me because I love strawberries, is a pore blurring one. Now, I'm not someone who feels like I necessarily need I mean, I have pores, believe me, I'm not saying I don't, but I'm not super into like feeling like I need products to blur my pores, but I would try it. So that and Coconut Dream and Banana Split definitely intriguing me. So these say that the primers are 6 the little pound sign. I think that's what it is. Pound, is it 6 pounds? And then the powder is only 5. So very, very interesting. And I'm intrigued by those. So I wonder if that'll be something that actually comes to Ulta, or if I Heart Revolution is just like strictly the UK. I'm not quite sure. So may or may not purchase depending on where it's available to me, or if it's easily accessible. That's my Mexican coming out. Accessible to me or not, but very, very intriguing. I really don't need more base or face products. I don't need anything, but very, very intriguing to me, so I want to bring those up. But anyways, that's it for this video. I don't know if I managed to keep it short or not, but probably shorter than a lot of my other ones, considering there was quite a bit of less products than usual. But yeah, that's it. With that being said, I would love to know your thoughts and opinions on these makeup releases. If they're something that has been available by now, by the time this video goes up, and you've purchased it, I would love to hear your thoughts and opinions on the product. Like if you have a little bit of a review on the products, are they worth it? Are they worth me looking into, or should we steer clear? Share your thoughts and opinions. I love hearing from you and hearing what you guys have to say as well. I'm sure it's very helpful for anybody coming here watching these videos who might be browsing the comments, so we can all help each other out, beat the FOMO. We can talk about and appreciate products. We don't always have to buy them, so I feel like this is a very helpful video for myself and other people. So I really hope you guys enjoyed it. If you are new here, I will go ahead and put some videos on the screen for you guys to browse around and check out more of my channel, just in case you want to get to know me a little bit more. Maybe consider subscribing. But if you did like this video, I would hope that you might want to give it a thumbs up and share your thoughts in a comment. But with all that being said, I just want to thank you so much for watching, and until next time, much love and hugs to you. Bye, beauty babes. Mwah!